So what's time blocking and how would you do it? Turns out it's a technique well described in Cal Newport's 2016 book, but some people have been doing it for a while. And this is a photo from Benjamin Franklin's diary, which, as you may know, was written between 1771 and 1790 and published first in 1793. And he clearly used time blocking, right? And he was very productive, right? I'm not saying correlation versus causation is always the one, but it's certainly something that he shared very quickly, used it to good effect. What did I start doing when this was my template one? And I'll just share with people, say like, what did it work for me? There's The Science of Perfect Timing, a book by Daniel Pink, and he talks about how energetically there seem to be three kinds of people who start out early in the morning with their major energy. So this would be the Lark one. And so for me, doing deep work in the morning is best. My mind is freshest. I've got energy. This is where the most important work in the day is gonna happen. There are other people who are owls, and they have a small burst, then they dip, and then they have their big burst later. And then a lot of people who like doing a lot of their work later in the day. So we can adjust it for that. But this was the one where, for most people, they're larks or in-betweeners, and these can work really well. You are coming in fresh. You're not distracted by the other things. Then I would get to the shallow work time, which I would constrain. I would only let people book times with me here, or I'd do my best to move meetings into these times, right? And then I'd try to have a deep work session in the afternoon, and then I'd do my flex and my shutdown. So that's how we started. It had some of the principles. If you're welcome to try it, it's easy to sort of try to integrate with most other schedules. I was like getting to email by 11, so people were, where have I gotten to now? Like, what you'll find is that if you can have more deep work blocks together, you will get much more done. There's less loading and unloading, and I've become much more aggressive about doing this. In The Science of Perfect Timing, they also talk about these other superpowers, which are doing exercise, doing it outside, right? Which will give you much more of the trough part of your day back. So you'll go through this high, all this energetically, you're going through this trough where you're not going to be at your peak, so you should use it for other things. Gym and lunch is the best meal of the day, so you do that. Then I come back, I'm somewhat refreshed. I do sort of this shallow or collaborative time, right? Which I'm trying to reframe it to be less negative. So I call it social and collaboration time. It's really fun to talk to people. And then I have this flex block, and the flex block became its own. It's easy and tempting. In the beginning, I would let people schedule time here, but it's really for me. What does the flex block mean? I was pretty good at getting a lot of tasks almost done. You're like me, like you're almost done, but then they just hang out, right? Because I wrap up my day, I'm racing home, I don't get to do it. I would finish 40%, completely finish the last 40% of my tasks if I gave myself some flex time in the day. You will find that like you are never as productive as when you have that period of time for yourself. And it's a chance to wrap up those things. And then I had 30 minutes to shut down, and then I am off. I've told my brain I am off. There's a lot of work around the shutdown ritual. We can't dive into it today, but it's another technique I can't recommend enough. This is a template that we use, not for people to track their time, but for them to sit down beforehand and say, design your week.